How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Family. We are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be discussing captaincy options for Game Week 4. A lot of the big teams have a nice home fixture, or in some cases a really nice away fixture, and it looks like it could be another situation where captaincy could be a little bit split like it was last week, with Salah away to Manchester United, Jesus away to Bournemouth, as well as the Spurs boys at home to Wolves. City was also involved in that one as well. They're away to Newcastle, and there was a goal fest there. So again, it's going to be a very tight captaincy discussion for this game week as well. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe channel if you're new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it's readily available. Also, drop us a follow over on Twitter so that you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news. And give us a follow on Twitch, because we will be doing our deadline streams over on Twitch this season. We will be doing preview, deadline, and any other impromptu FPL streams. We will always leave a pinned comment down below as to when the next stream is going to be, which for at the time of recording for this video should be the Game Week 4 deadline stream, which will be up 1 hour before the FPL deadline. So, without further ado, let's see who are the best captaincy options for this week. So in my opinion, the best fixture on paper this week is Liverpool at home to newly promoted Bournemouth. I think that Liverpool's stats are very good, actually, in terms of attacking data. I believe they're in the top third of the Premier League in terms of all of their attacking stats combined, but they just aren't producing it on the pitch. A draw in Game Week 1, a draw in Game Week 2, a disappointing defeat away at rivals Manchester United, but I still think that there is promise there for potential captaincy options, and most notably Mo Salah. And I also think it comes down to more of their opposition and what they're going to want to do to bounce back from their poor start. They'll have the home crowd behind them at Anfield, which is always very helpful and intimidating for the opposition, which can hamper their play. And I think the fact that it's Bournemouth, a team that's newly promoted, arguably not the greatest looking team in the division so far. 27 shots conceded on the season, which is also the last 4. 5 big chances conceded. They are potentially leaky at the back and don't really provide too much threat going forward, especially with Dominic Solanke out of the team. We saw what Arsenal were able to do to them just from minute 1 to minute 90, constant press. They couldn't play out, and just Arsenal were just basically pummeling them down for the opening 45 minutes and then resumed it after the start of the second half. So I can see Liverpool definitely doing that. Klopp will want to, ensure that the energy is up from all the players, not to be discouraged by the defeat away to Manchester United at Old Trafford. For any team, it's difficult to go to one of your biggest rivals, and with rivalries, just form goes out the window. But both teams were struggling a bit. Klopp will want to get the energy back in the side. It's just their midfield that might be struggling at the moment. They seem to have a bunch of players that could play in their system, but they're always injured. Like Naby Keita is an example. Thiago's another one. But I think it's mainly down to the fact that Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson have been producing decent enough numbers, and Robertson's been more particular been picking up positions centrally in the box, kind of taking from what Mane was doing last season, who I think is a big miss for them. I think they need to make more runs in potentially in behind, maybe not so in this game, but I think Diaz is going to have to potentially work on that. He seems to be more of the I want to stand you up and try to be the man, and go by them with a skill move or just sheer pace. But I think he needs to be making more of the runs and dragging runners away, which will open space up for Robertson or potentially whoever the left-sided central midfielder is. And I think that will help them out greatly. Salah was doing it a bit versus United, but not nearly to the degree that he was doing it before. And Liverpool like to play a lot of long balls, which is surprising because they didn't typically do that. And I think that it could be something potentially wrong with the partnership at center back at the back. I think with Matip in there, with Van Dijk, I think they're much more solid. Gomez just wasn't very good versus United. So if they're going to stick with that, we'll have to wait and see. Gomez just seems to be positionally unaware, and Nat Phillips is just not very quick. So they're going to have to pick and choose from there. Maybe Van Dijk will have Matip back with him this week. I'm still not too sure on that. I think he's still a week or so at least away. I'm not sure the exact extent of his injury, but I think they definitely need him there. In terms of captaincy, though, I think Salah's going to be your ever-present. 2 goals, 1 assist in the season thus far. His numbers show that he's still, ticking along nicely enough. At home, Salah seems to be very good, still on penalties. And I think that Bournemouth just seem to be like the team that if they get pressed, they'll make mistakes and then they'll pounce on it, which is exactly what Liverpool want to do. They want to press you in your half of the pitch, take the ball off you, and then get the very good chances to score the goals, which I think Liverpool can definitely do. And I expect them to bounce back this week as well. However, there is another team that is performing much better, at least points-wise. In fact, I believe they're top of the table. They also play a newly promoted team. So let's see what that fixture is going to be looking like for captaincy. And that team is Arsenal. Taking some of the players from Manchester City have reinvigorated the side. Gabriel Jesus is the highest owned ever FPL player in history and is basically on fire. Every time he basically touches the ball or has been in the team to play, he scored, assisted, dropped off the line, held up the ball, broke up play, pressed. He's done it all. And I think his price tag being 8 million at the start of the season may have been a bit of a mistake, but since we all have him, he's definitely going to need to be captained if we're going to want to get any effective points out of him. And I think he's definitely reason to do so this coming game week. 9 big chances conceded by Fulham already this season, and we can see that they will concede shots and they will concede goals, having Brentford scored 2 against them last week. Liverpool scored 2 against them in the opening week of the season, and that wasn't even a fully firing Liverpool team, just a Liverpool team that played well in around a 20 to 25 minute spell. And I think that Martinelli and Saka could also be viable captaincy options, but if you're going to go somebody, it's probably going to be Jesus, just because of his sheer involvement. I mean, if you just look at his involvement compared to Martinelli and Saka's, it's higher than both of theirs combined. And I wouldn't be surprised if you added a few more players in there that Jesus would still be involved in more than all of them. Potentially, he could take penalties. We still don't know that as of yet. Arsenal have yet to receive a penalty, at least to my knowledge. But I think it's, Arteta did talk about the Saka versus Martinelli kind of penalty taking dilemma there, or lack thereof. And I think it may be just whoever gets taken down gets to take it. That could be a situation there. But against Fulham, I can see Arsenal doing exactly the same thing as they did to Bournemouth. Maybe not to the same degree, because I think Fulham are in a much better place than the likes of Bournemouth, because at least Fulham have a out, as it were. They can ping the ball up to Mitrovic, who can hold it up, and he can definitely threaten on set pieces as well. So Gabriel Jesus, I'm kind of torn between him and Salah this week. I think Salah has the slightly better fixture. I think Fulham are playing quite good, but if Fulham want to play, kind of play it on the floor and play nice, attractive football, that comes with its, kind of its benefits, but also it's potentially damaging in the fact that they might leave themselves open and allow for Arsenal to sneak in and get a few more good opportunities than they otherwise wouldn't if they just kind of sat back and absorbed the pressure. So I think clearly those are the 2 best fixtures on paper, with Arsenal at home to Fulham and Liverpool at home to Bournemouth. But let's see if there are any other fixtures that potentially could be an option for captaincy this week. Now, it may say differential captains on the graphic, but it's hardly that, considering we have Man City and Spurs, who also have 2 very good fixtures between them. Man City host Crystal Palace at the Etihad, and De Bruyne and Haaland have been in very good form. De Bruyne with 1 goal, 3 assists, Haaland with 3 goals, 1 assist. Not much of a coincidence there. Haaland getting a lot of shots inside the box. I think that they'll kind of maintain a lot of the ball versus Crystal Palace, but they have been very defensively astute. However, they haven't gone up against someone in the likes of Erling Haaland. And I think this is kind of crucial in that there could be a lot of space in and around the edge of the box, which may lend to the likes of De Bruyne, because they're going to be focused a lot on Haaland, which it was the same for him versus Newcastle as well. It was how Bernardo Silva ended up scoring the 3rd goal. Haaland drags, I believe it was Sven Botman or Fabian Schär was one of them. And basically, he just goes to him and just completely ignores the fact that someone's running in behind. And it happened to be Bernardo Silva who tucked it away quite beautifully. And I think Gundogan also exploited that as well on the 1st goal. Haaland's just going to be the main attraction, and there could be some options that arise, which could be differential picks rather than captaincy choices, where we have to pair with the likes of Haaland and Cancelo, or De Bruyne and Haaland alongside them, which will get us nice differential FPL points. Spurs also go away to Forest, who have conceded quite a lot of, at least in the XG department. They do have Dean Henderson from Manchester United on loan, so it's not going to be an easy test for them to score versus him. But I think that Kane could be a differential option here. I didn't put Son on the graphic because I think Haaland and De Bruyne have been playing much better than him. I think Kane's still been getting involved. I think it's going to be maybe more difficult for Spurs to score a set-piece goal because Dean Henderson does tend to command his box quite well. But I think the Kane could be an interesting differential. For those that started with Threemium, if you want to go for something a bit different, I think Kane could be your man. 2 goals, 8 shots inside the box in the 3 games played out of this season. I'm just still not convinced that the likes of Son is fully firing, and I think that Kane is occupying more of the central areas in the box, which may detract from Kane's assist potential, but definitely an outside kind of pick there in terms of the captaincy. And if I had to rank them in terms of fixtures, I would say Kane's is probably the lowest out of the 4 fixtures that we've had, which is the Liverpool at home to Bournemouth, Arsenal at home to Fulham, Man City at home to Crystal Palace, and then Kane away to Forest. I would definitely put Salah and Jesus at the very, very top, with City in behind them, and then a big gap between City and Kane as well. So Kane would definitely be on the bottom of this, but if you're looking for something against the grain, or you wanted to go for something that's really differential, having a Threemium team, that is something that you can definitely go for. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm kind of torn between Salah and Jesus. I think fixtures for both of them look to be quite good. Arsenal look to be playing really well at the moment. Liverpool, not so much, but I think Liverpool could potentially bounce back. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who are you going to be captaining in Game Week 4? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Scout members area, the one place that you need to be tuned into for the upcoming FPL season. It has a wide variety of resources and tools that will help improve your FPL game today. It has a bunch of different members-only articles written by some of the best FPL managers across the globe, heat maps for all the players and positions, as well as player comparison tools, which will help you see side by side who is going to be more effective for your FPL team, fully customizable stats tables powered by Opta stats, and much, much more. Use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to the Fantasy Football Scout members area today. It'll help improve your FPL game. This video has been sponsored by Manscaped, the best in male below-the-waist grooming. Make sure to check out manscaped.com so you can see the latest and greatest updates to their lawnmower, as well as their performance package, and much, much more for all their gadgets and gizmos to help keep your family jewels looking as shiny as ever. Make sure to use the code FLAME20 so that you can get 20% off your next Manscaped order, as well as free worldwide shipping. Go check out manscaped.com today. And that's going to do it for our Game Week 4 Best Captaincy Picks. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it's readily available. Also, drop us a follow over on Twitter so that you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, and give us a follow over on Twitch so you can join us live for our preview and deadline streams, which we will be doing another deadline stream this weekend, 1 hour before the FPL deadline, so make sure to check us out for that. Pin comment down below to give you the details on that. And lastly, check out Fantasy Football Scout's membership area. There is a link in the description below. All the stats that you saw on today's video are from the Fantasy Football Scout members area, from the custom tables that I have made in there, and they're all publicly available if you have a membership to Fantasy Football Scout's members area. And you can create your own tables as well, powered by Opta Stats. It's fantastic. It's going to help elevate your FPL game. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.